Good morning, everyone. We have another employer spotlight for you today. Today, we are lucky enough to have 3 employers here from Allen County government. We have Mary Ryan, who is the HR generalist and recruiter for the Allen County government, who is a great friend to Indiana Tech, does a lot of our participation events. We hope that we'll be able to see employers here in the fall if we're not all virtual, but definitely in the spring. So I'm happy to welcome her. We also have Tom DeRose and Aaron Robbins with us today from the Sheriff's Department. So excited to hear about what they do, the process to become a police officer, their internships, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mary so we can hear all about Allen County government.
Thanks, Amy.
Sure.
So again, my name is Mary Ryan, and I am the HR journalist and recruiter for the county. Probably the first thing that I want to talk about is just really what is the county, because that's hard for people to wrap their head around. And Allen County government is really set up by the Indiana Constitution and the General Assembly through statute. So we are comprised of a lot of departments that are either under an elected official, such as the sheriff, or boards like the Parks and Recreation Department or the Health Department, or an appointed department director. So there are so many different jobs and diverse jobs really within county government, ranging from criminal justice, having health inspectors, attorneys, financial people. I mean, there's just a wide variety of different opportunities that we have. We employ over 1,800 employees, 1,300, close to 1,400 of them are full-time.
Wow.
And there's just a lot of variety. There's never a time where we don't have job openings. I've been with the county for 6 years in my role as the generalist recruiter. And before that, I was our compensation specialist. And prior to that, I actually worked part-time for the Sheriff's Department.
Oh.
There's just a lot of opportunity here. It's very diverse. You can get your hands into a lot of things. I asked the Sheriff's Department to be here today just because I know you guys have a criminal justice program.
Yes.
And I know we have a lot of people who are interested in law enforcement. I think that they can give you a rundown of what that process is like. And it's kind of exciting for people to hear. But I always encourage folks to just kind of pay attention to our job site, which is www.allencountyjobs.us, to see all of our openings because they change all the time. And we hire anything from, entry level, high school diploma to master's degree, doctors, there's just a wide range.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, in what I do in my role, for the most part, I kind of oversee all of the job postings that we have. So I make sure that they get up on our website. I interact with the department heads and elected officials and help them in whatever way they need help. Most of our departments handle all of their hiring and interviewing differently. So I'm more hands-on with some departments than I am with others. That means I could be interviewing with a department, I could be helping them with screening jobs, or I could just be completely hands-off because, for instance, the Sheriff's Department, who's here today, they have a nice recruiting staff, basically, that is what their job is to do, is to hire people. Outside of kind of like my recruiting functions, I also handle our information systems and human resources. So like our employee self-service, where you can register for benefits and that sort of thing, and kind of anything on the techie side. And then I'm a generalist, so if I get asked to do something else, I just do it. I'm a part of our strategic planning team. So there's quite a bit that I've been involved with.
Awesome. One question I have for you, Mary. I know recruiter is part of your tagline too. What recruiting efforts do you guys typically do? I know you have done career fairs for us and things like that.
So from my perspective, I mostly attend career fairs. I'll participate in many things, like, being a part of this today. I've done mock interviewing before. I've done resume reviewing. I can't remember if that was with you or I know I've done it at one of the job fairs before too.
Yes.
I've been invited to go out to like a school and talk, high school. So really kind of anything. I mean, my ear's open and if my schedule will allow, then I'll participate. My biggest function is just getting out there that we are an employer. There are jobs that you can find within county government, and please consider us or take a look at us.
Yes. I know that we post your jobs monthly. Sometimes I send some of our students to the website just to view them because, they're always updating and there are always new jobs on there. So yeah, we appreciate you sending those to us and us being able to post those on Warrior Jobs for our students.
Yeah, we appreciate you sharing them. We have a distribution list that we try to get that out to, just as another mechanism. And then I know there's various job boards that luckily share most of our postings for us, like Indeed. So that's nice.
Yes, we send our students there a lot. Awesome.
You're awesome, Mary. Yeah, and then
you want me to turn it over
Sergeant Tom DeRose.
Now?
Sure.
Do you have any questions for me? I'm
good, Mary. If you would like to turn it over to Tom and Aaron.
Okay, awesome. So Tom and Aaron, I talked a little bit earlier about the Sheriff's Department actually having a recruiting team, and they are part of it. That's what they spend their time doing, is getting people in, taking them through the hiring process, which is much more extensive than probably any of our hiring processes for the other departments. So go ahead, Tom and Aaron.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm Sergeant Tom DeRose. Been with the department for about 13 years. And just like Mary stated, we do a lot of the recruiting and hiring for folks that are interested in law enforcement. I also have Aaron Robbins here with me. Hello.
Hi, Aaron.
So yeah, that's a big part of what we do. I mean, we help with all the hiring process. We actually go out to job fairs as well. We go to high schools, college, all the surrounding local colleges. We've been up to Toledo. We have a pretty good rapport with Toledo University.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, as far as our hiring process goes, I mean, it is pretty extensive. Reason being, we actually have all of our applicants go through the sworn police officer background. Because we hire our police officers internally. So if you're looking to be a police officer, you would start off in the confinement division and then kind of work your way or promote your way up to being a police officer if you had that interest. But that's something we don't expect. I mean, if that's something that you're interested in, we give you all the tools to make that happen. But also we have a lot of folks that, want to stay in the confinement division as a confinement officer and kind of stay in that field.
Interesting.
As far as that goes, I don't know if you have any questions on the hiring process or, we're more than happy to answer any questions as far as that goes.
So when you're hiring a new grad out of a CJ position, all of them
Mm-hmm.
start out as a confinement officer, right? If they're wanting
Correct.
to become a police officer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, so you start off as a confinement officer, and then there's no set time frame. Let's say, you know, we have an internal posting, they need 5 police officers.
Okay.
Then you don't have to be with us for any certain amount of time. You can immediately go and transition right into the police officer application side of it and go through there. Your background investigation would already be done though, and you're already going to have kind of a step ahead of everyone else because you're already going to receive a lot of training, same training that a police officer would going in. So that's kind of why we went with the internal part of it, because I think the sheriff felt they are so directly relatable. You know, you get so much experience being a confinement officer that, you know, it definitely helps out with being a police officer. So yeah, we've seen a lot of positive feedback from that. I think a lot of the confinement officers here like that. Like I said, it's a really good opportunity to kind of get your foot in the door and gain that experience. It's kind of like on-the-job experience. You know,
yeah, definitely.
Have a lot of good.
And, yeah, they know you, and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think another benefit as well, we'll actually start hiring confinement officers as young as the age of 18 years of age.
Okay.
And you're unable to apply to be a police officer until you're 21. But for folks who are under the age of 21 who want to get their foot in the door and start getting that experience, like Sergeant DeRose said, starting off at the jail is a excellent way to begin your career. Getting the experience to work with people and work with inmates is a real benefit. But, you know, we have many applicants who are either still going to school and working here. And you're certainly able to do that and get that experience while completing your education and really get your law enforcement career off on a fast track, so to speak, as early as 18.
That's awesome. That was my next question. I was going to ask if the confinement officers are all full-time, so you can be part-time and still go to school and do that?
No, we don't have any part-time positions. But like myself, I worked full-time, but you know your schedule.
Yeah.
Basically for the rest of the year. So all I did was I actually went to Indiana Tech, did Indiana Tech classes online. But I went to Indiana Tech online classes while I was working full-time. And since I knew, you know, kind of my schedule, your schedule set for the whole year, you know, I was able to work around that pretty easily. I mean, it was still busy. I'm not going to lie. It was still very busy, still a lot to take on, but it's definitely doable. If I can do it, I'm sure anybody can do it. So.
Awesome.
But that we do have some confinement officers that are doing that. You know, they're working here, doing online classes, or some of them, you know, they can even attend school. Since they know their schedule here, they just plan their classes around that.
Right.
You know, as far as like on-site, and they, you know, they're all doing well. And kind of like Corporal Robbins said, you know, they're fast tracking. They're still completing their school, plus they're getting, you know, on-the-job experience, and they find it, you know, as an easy transition to being a police officer. So
cool. So great to know that path. One thing I did want to mention is if my memory serves me, and I can't find my notes, of course, but I don't know if you guys remember Katie Schmolza. I think she did an internship at Allen County Probation, and she just raved about how fantastic the program is and how they had such a comprehensive internship program for her. And I think she went on to work in Parkview Security, and she's down in Indianapolis now. She has a big girl job. She graduated. But that's when I kind of first became aware, because I'm just new to this job. I've been at Tech for 5 years, but I'm new to this like within the last 2 years, the employer rep side, and come to know of you guys. And I know that, you know, she was pretty instrumental in spreading the word about what a great internship program that they have over there. So I just wanted to let you guys know that.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
not the first time I've heard that. They do have a great program, and I know Eric, I will see him a lot at job fairs as well, participating in It's great. But yeah, we have other departments that do internship programs too. And, you know, briefly before we started this, I let you know that if anyone was interested in a particular department throughout the county, they can always connect with me, and I'll make sure that they're connected with the appropriate person in that department. The building department does them, the health department, the court system, or Superior Court, Circuit Court, adult probation, like you said. Our youth services center. We have over 30 different departments, and I would say a big chunk of them participate in some fashion in internships.
Yes, yes. And of course, I mean, it's a requirement for some degrees here, not all. I look for our president to start to move that as a requirement for every major, because employers are telling us I think the latest NEASE results were 73. A kid that has an internship will get hired 73% more than a kid that does not. So that we know how important they are. And like Sergeant DeRose said, you'll figure out if that's what you want to do or you don't, you know, lots of times in an internship. So we're really thrilled at Tech that you guys provide so many of those for our students.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm so
As
excited.
far as our
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I'm sorry. As far as our internship goes, and Mary might know a little bit about this, a little bit more about this than I, because I don't have a whole lot of experience with our internship program. But from what I've heard, the intern actually gets to spend a little bit of time. I want to say it's 2 weeks in each division. So they get to ride with a police officer for 2 weeks. They actually come over to the jail and they get to experience the jail for about 2 weeks. I even heard they get to go out to the firing range and shoot some pistols and stuff out there at the firing range. So I think our internship program is pretty good as well. But
I would agree with that. Yeah, and the only other thing to keep in mind is that I have heard that they always have a waiting list for it.
Yes, I think
it's very popular.
It's tough to get into. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I have heard that from some of our students, because I always say, you know, when they come in, I'll say, have you tried, you know, Allen County government? And yeah, I've applied. I'm like, did you follow up? You know, all this stuff. But yeah, that just shows, you know, what a great program you have.
What you just said, because I have a lot of people that come up to me at job fairs also and say the same thing. And so maybe it's helpful for me to share kind of what I always share with the people who visit my booth and have that is just number one, be patient, because we are lucky enough to receive a lot of applications for most of our jobs. Thankfully, people really are interested in the work here, which is not surprising, because when we do employee engagement surveys, what we have found is that most of our employees are very passionate about serving the public.
Okay.
So we get a large volume of applications, and so I always encourage people to really pay attention to those details that you might overlook, because when you know, you're a hiring manager and you're going through 400 applications, it's going to be very easy to overlook the ones that have you know, even just grammar errors all over the place. My advice to people is always to have kind of like a second set of eyes, take a look at the information you have on your resume. Because it's very easy, like if I read my own resume, to read what I meant to say instead of instead of what I actually had put on there. And then the other thing is that you're paying attention to the job that you're applying for. So if you're, you know, some people just want to get somewhere into county government, right? So they're applying for a ton of different positions. And what you need to pay attention to is what are we looking for in that role? So what are the requirements? What are we asking of that person? And how can I highlight the skills and attributes that I have that are really going to put me at the top of that you know, list to be considered?
Yes.
It's really just taking that extra time to make sure that you're thinking about those things instead of hurrying up and just trying to drop that application in the bin.
Absolutely. And we preach that till we're blue in the face.
I bet you do. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Amy, with our hiring process,
Mhm.
as far as the applications go, normally we get them in, we try to get them in scheduled for the written exam process, which is the first step in the hiring process, within about a week of them applying. So
Okay.
since that's all Corporal Robbins and I do, we try to get them in as fast as possible. So I don't know if, students that are listening to this, there shouldn't be much of a wait. Once you apply, we'll try to get you scheduled for the first step. And we are actually trying to lead the way as far as like law enforcement processes go. Normally it takes 3 to 4 months for a law enforcement officer to get hired on
Wow.
because of the background. But we actually have it expedited to about 3 weeks. So we're trying to lead the way. We have a really good streamlined setup to where, we can get folks through pretty quick. Our hiring process never really shuts down. We're always looking for folks. And I think we have one of the highest paid, I don't know if you'd agree with me or not, Corporal Robbins, but
Yep.
probably the highest paid confinement officer position in the state of Indiana, starting off at $20.34 an hour.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So it's as a confinement officer, once again, not trying to talk, so much about the sworn police side. Obviously that is there, and we provide the tools for that. But if they're looking for a career, they can also go the confinement officer route as well.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh, such great information from you guys. I can't wait to share this with our CJ department. And as I told you earlier, we will post this to our YouTube channel, and you guys will get a copy also. So then students can go back and view it. This seems to be the best thing we can do to get employers still in front of our students when we can't do it in person, because of COVID.
Yeah,
So I'm so happy for you guys to join us today and tell us more about Allen County government.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us to participate.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and put your website in the chat, so that'll be there when students view it also.
Great.
And what was that again, Mary?
It's www.allencountyjobs.us.
Got it.
And just another plug, something I always tell people, we have kind of full disclosure, something that's unique to the private industry where you're kind of wondering what you're going to get paid. All of our pay it's open door. So we post all of our salaries on our website, so you know exactly what you're getting into. And then I would say that we have a pretty competitive benefits package here with the county, and time off. So those are things that I know entice people into choosing an employer that
Yeah.
we have to offer. So
yes, I do notice that when I post your jobs. I'm always like, wow, really? And oh yeah, because very, very, very few employers do that. So I like that. I know a lot of our students do. So yeah. Well, thanks again, guys, for being here.
thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Amy, and thank you, Mary.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, we'll catch you guys later.
All right. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks.